School started.
The start of school.
Oh, my goodness. It's, yeah. So
welcome back.
I know. He's like, where have we been? I'll tell you where we've been. We've been trapped under a beginning school. All that and much more coming up next on the EduTechGuys.
You're listening to the EduTechGuys. edutechguys.com.
Hey there, how's it going? Welcome to the show. We're the EduTech Guys. I'm David Henderson.
And I'm the guy they call Jeff Matlock.
He's the guy.
Mr. Matlock, or hey you, tech boy.
Tech boy.
My Promethean board is not letting me get to Facebook. And
your Parthenon board?
Parthenon, that's the one. We actually got that one. The Parthenon board. And I love it because it said Parthenon board moving slowly.
Slowly.
Yes, the Parthenon does move slowly. Yes. In fact, I would guess in like several thousand years it hasn't moved very much at all. The Parthenon board.
It's not the Leaning Tower of Pisa here, folks.
Maybe if you grease it up. Oh! Need a rim shot on that one.
Sorry, don't we have one of those? I think there's one of those in there, isn't there?
Listen, this is a show. We don't have a guest. We have not done a regular show in some time. Honestly, we have been so swamped with other projects, both our regular day job projects and other projects with the EduTech Guys. We've just been kind of swamped.
It's been crazy. I don't think we've really cut a show since ISTE.
2022. No, it's been a while. We get a lot of folks that want to be on the show, and we've just been swamped, and we're getting older. It's almost 10 years.
I know, it's crazy that it's coming up on 10 years.
I can't believe I'm going to be 83. It just boggles my mind.
You don't look a day over 40. Meanwhile, I look like I've been 112 since I was 8.
We started this show at the age of 45. And,
golly, man.
Just a few months away from now, I'm 83. This is crazy.
It is.
You don't look as old as you think you do.
I do, but that's okay. It's
okay. Neither one of us act our age. So
no. But about that specific thing.
Uh-oh.
All right. Since you brought that up, here's the thing about that. People say that all the time. Act your age. I've never been this age, so this is what this age acts like.
We're supposed to watch. So if I'm supposed to do that, then I'm thinking back to when I was a kid, and someone that I thought was 55, I would have thought was like really old. And they wore a suit every day, and harumph and all that kind of stuff. So is that how we're supposed to act?
I guess you didn't grow up with the same 55-year-olds I did.
Maybe I'm supposed to be I'm supposed to be like Cary Grant. But
oh well, you're going way back there. But
Cary Grant was the Robert Downey Jr. of his day, so there is that.
Well, here's the thing, though: we're Gen X, and so guess what? This is what Gen X at 50 plus acts like.
Well, hey,
so we
are
acting our age.
Hey, you guys!
Hey,
I mean, that is what I do. I mean, I am sloth love chunk. I don't know what else it would be. I think that's what's interesting is that I wake up in the morning. When I wake up, when I wake up in the morning, I feel like I'm 300 years old.
Oh, is this where this EduTech Guys episode is going?
Well, no.
Hey, this is what I did with grumpy old man.
This is to all of our educators out there that've been doing it for some time. And now, if you haven't been, and listen, don't take this the wrong way. If you haven't been teaching for at least 15 years, we'll just say that's a good time, a decade and a half.
Okay.
I don't mean this. If you're waking up in the morning and you haven't taught 15 years and you're feeling like you're 300 years old, look for another job quickly. But because after 30 years, and you too, we've been doing this a long time. But it's funny, once I get going, then I don't stop. And I think that's the thing. So much to talk about here. So much to unpack. I feel like I've got to pay extra. I've got to pay extra because I'm checking extra luggage here. I've got so much to unpack in this show.
Oh, there's a lot of baggage. There's a lot of baggage.
But this year, every beginning of new school years brings a whole new retrospective on being in education this long and starting a new school year. And this year has been very interesting to me because, I could be done. I can just go, hey, listen, I'm going to retire and be done. But so much is going on. It's like, but I still feel excited. I said to the new teacher in the new teacher orientation, you were in there. I said, listen, if you see me or my tech guys going somewhere, if you see us heading in a direction, don't stop us because we're working every day. We're going from point A to B. And, if you stop me, I'm going to either forget where I was going and definitely forget what you told me and probably wind up in a dementia haze in the front lawn at the high school wandering around looking at trees because that's what it feels like anyway. So for all of our fellow teachers out there and educators and tech coordinators and maintenance guys and everyone that's in education, if you're waking up and you feel worn out, hey, welcome to the club. It doesn't get any different ever, I don't think. But it's fulfilling.
But we love what we do. We love that paycheck every month.
Yeah. David, you're nice.
So I have a slightly different perspective. Well, I think, I agree with a lot of what you said, but I think that for me anyway, if you don't have anything that you're looking forward to, I think that's where things really can drag you down. Yeah, whereas, if you are, and I'm just going to throw this out there, we're EduTech guys. So, tech is kind of our wheelhouse. But if you're a technology, and I'm going to step on some toes, if you're a technology coordinator and you're not looking ahead, you're not providing for your staff and your students the technology that they need, if you're not keeping up with the technology that's changing, and I know it's not changing as fast as it once was, which is a blessing, also kind of a curse because some of the changes in technology, and it could be something, what I would consider relatively minor, they have a tendency to kind of sneak up on you. And so the technology is here before you were really even paying attention to it being here. And then all of a sudden, hey, we got to have this, we got to do this. I'll give you an example. At a different school district, not the one that we work at, that I'm pretty familiar with. One of the issues that they ran into is their aging Chromebooks. Yeah. A bunch of districts got Chromebooks when COVID was around and got hit. And 4 years ago. Yeah. And a lot of those Chromebooks have aged out. Yep. And the big issue is not necessarily the Chromebooks aging out themselves. It's what's running on them or what's running through them that is required by other entities. So, for example, in Arkansas, they just changed to a new testing system. And if your Chromebooks are not at a particular level, it doesn't run. And not only does it not run the testing, it doesn't run the curriculum behind the testing. Yeah. So you're dead in the water. You can't do anything. And that district is now scrambling because they haven't been keeping up with that particular change. Well, and that is such a disservice to everyone. It's a disservice to the teachers. It's a huge disservice to the students. You've got to keep up with that. You've got to maintain that. And to me, the beginning of the school year, although technically that one is more like the end of the last school year, but still the beginning of school year, to me, those are the kinds of things that sort of, at least for me, kind of fuel the fire to get better, to do better, to keep up the pace, to keep doing what we do to serve the kids mostly. Right. That's what we're here for. At the end of the day, if you're not doing it to serve your students, to make your students better, then as you said earlier, you might want to go find another job.
Well, and so to be the devil's advocate on this, and I know which district you're talking about, but think about that. So 1,000 kids, $300 Chromebooks. And that's just being...
I get that. I do.
But the interesting part about where it puts... So when I think you and I have traveled a lot, we've been to schools of every varying size, monster schools, tiny schools. And, in most schools have a tech person and maybe 2 or 3. Here in our district, there's myself and my 2 technicians.
Right.
And so the stuff that falls under that is the places we haven't grown, and you see it like here is like, so, we fix machines, we fix lines, we fix the phones, we make the VoIPs work, we make the Wi-Fi's work, we make the lights come on and the air conditioning stay on schedule, all the doors unlock, and, if you're in some districts, that means the PA systems and the intercoms and all that kind of stuff. And then the Chromebooks and then the teacher devices and then the touch screens in the rooms and, all of that stuff. And then there's the data behind it all. Like, okay, we need to take this from the SIS and put it into Clever or whoever you're using, and then make sure GoGuardian or Bloxy or whoever is working. And then make sure Google Apps is working. Oh, by the way, we also need Office 365 to happen on that. And then we need this, this, and this. And these are Windows machines and these are Macs and this is this. And then on top of that, they go, okay, and now we've changed 17 different pieces of curriculum here in Arkansas. The state went, hey, by the way, we've changed, you had everything working on this one. Now we've changed to Atlas and this and that. And we've dropped this and we've added this and we're doing this and that whole thing. And that's a lot.
It is.
For a small handful of people to keep up with.
Yeah.
And so in the defense of all those techs out there who are dealing with that right now, that's a hard thing to, I was a band director once. Really, Jeff? You say it all the time. Yes.
Every episode.
Toot my horn. So, but there's the thing. I was a band director and they came to me, well, hey, we understand you. Will you be our technology coordinator? This is way back in the 90s. Sure, I'll do both. So I was directing an award-winning marching band in the morning, coming in, taking my wet shoes off from the football field, putting on my tech hat and climbing in ceilings and running fiber optics and putting in computers. And eventually I realized I can't do all this at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
It's just two different things.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of what's happening to our techs now, because there's one thing to go, well, let me build these new VLANs and get this routing correctly, and I've got to add this and make sure this is going on. And okay, how do you need this bandwidth for these Wi-Fi in this classroom, and you need this to do this, and okay, now I need to do what? Well, we need to know this data needs to be here, and then we want to know how these teachers can do this, and we need to make sure that this testing data is getting from here to here. And trust me, that's apples and oranges.
Oh yeah, it absolutely is.
And by the way, can you configure these phones to do this? And we want this phone to ring here, and then when Susie calls, it goes to here, and then it does this where Stevie can get it and Bobby can do it. And the thing is that that eventually you can't get it all put together. You can't keep it all in one place. And you're serving like this multiple masters that you just cannot get it all. And even for me, after all these years, sometimes I get completely overwhelmed to like, oh, wow, there's a lot to get done here. And some of it is an emergency. And if you're listening to this, if your superintendent calls, it's an emergency.
Right.
I don't care if he says, listen, my backspace key is stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Well, listen, I got an entire lab of computers down, but you're the superintendent, so we're going to get your backspace key unstuck. Exactly. There are some things that just override that.
Oh, yeah.
But I think what could happen if you're an educator listening to this, and I'm taking up for the unsung hero, the classified folks that are out there, please realize that those people they're like working on a assembly line. So when they come to work, they're working, from the time they clock in to the time they clock out, and some of them beyond that. Mm-hmm. And so they don't have a lot of downtime. So they're always working. I know it doesn't seem like it because it's like, well, I put in a tech request, 20 minutes ago, and you're not here.
Yes. Oh, that is so frustrating.
That's so frustrating. But that's also frustrating for the instructional facilitator when you go, well, I sent you an email.
Yeah.
And it was this morning, and these kids can't get into here, or they can't get this data, or blah blah blah. And I get that, and just like you're saying. So in defense of the teachers, man, there's a big one. Okay, I've got 26 kids and 24 Chromebooks. Oh, great! I got to get some more Chromebooks. Mm-hmm. Okay, I got 26 Chromebooks and 26 kids. 3 of them can't log in. Okay, I'm trying to do this lesson, or we're trying to get into whatever, iExcel, iReady, Renaissance, you name it. I can't get in 3 of them. So this just, there's a thing that, yes, teachers can pivot, but you can't pivot when it's like, okay, we're going to color, and I've got 30 kids, and I've got 28 coloring sheets. Great. Mm-hmm. Same thing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's like I've got 5 spelling books, and I've got 7 kids. Great. Okay, what I'm going to do now? So, I get that. The thing that happens every year, though, is in my opinion, it's the month of August and part of September.
Yeah.
It's the growing pains of starting school every year. And I think that's the thing that people forget so quickly. Even those of us that work through the summers, you know, we forget, oh yeah, it's going to be this way. And then once it hits its rhythm, okay, then all of this will fix itself and we'll get ourselves back into that. And then it's June and we start all over.
We started all over again.
What the heck, man?
That's right.
Where's my Valium? You know?
Yeah, that's exactly.
But, you know, I mean, that's, to me, that's the beginning of school year every year. So that hasn't changed. I think the one thing that has changed to me that I notice is we seem to put a lot more emphasis on stuff that is not the actual education and care and feeding of students.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And that's not just the beginning of the year. That's public education in general at this point. At this point.
And look what we've done. You know, our district has the governor of our state has asked, and most states have. California's done this too. By 2025 or 2026, no more cell phones on school campuses. Mm-hmm. And so our district has adopted, we're a pilot to attempt to do that. And I just read an article this morning about one of the California schools that has done it since like 2021 or 2020. And they're still having troubles with it. Mm-hmm. But I enjoyed the article because they were like, you know, our kids have now gotten used to it and they do it. And we actually have to put out board games and stuff at lunch to keep them busy. But they're actually talking and they're actually being kids and not on their phones. But, you know, I just had a conversation a few nights ago with a local post-secondary, you know, educational leader. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you know, but it is the 21st century. And, you know, I've been saying since before the 21st century, right into it, stop giving them 50 math questions and give them 500 and say, great, use whatever device you got. I mean, that's what we all do. I mean, you can't say that everyone doesn't Google everything. So, but the cell phone thing is going to be, in my opinion, one of the hardest things to, and it's already hit us, you know, I mean, we're trying to do what we're trying to do and our kids are not handling it well. You know, so it's bunch of kids detoxing while they're going to school.
Well, I mean, I was just going to say, and that really is that, and it really is. It is a very much detox type of situation. And to me, one of the biggest issues is that you've got this tool that, like any tool, when used appropriately, can be amazing. It can be awesome. I mean, you know, you can use cell phones for the greater good in classrooms. The problem is that, unfortunately, it is like a Swiss Army knife, and so therefore it's got all kinds of different pieces and parts, and a lot of it is not so useful, and in fact, very detrimental.
Because I'm going to play with the scissors the whole time.
Yes, exactly. You know, and so, you know, unfortunately, as is often the case, you know, we got to shut down the entire whatever the thing is. You know, we got to cut it off completely
it's on or off,
we can't.
Isn't it?
Yes, because we can't figure out how to have it on correctly.
You know, you and I were talking earlier about slow boiling a frog. You know, sometimes you need to slow boil the frog. And in my opinion, you're right. This is one of those times where we should have slow boiled the frog. Mm-hmm. You know, we should have figured out, hey, let's do this, and this is how we can get this done. But you're right, and that's
and it's tough. I mean, you know. There's all kinds of cases and case studies involving students that not even, I don't know if intentionally is the right word, because you don't accidentally do some of the stuff students do with their phones. But by the same token, just not having the maturity level to be able to handle the responsibility of some of the things that come with having, you know, access all over the place. And I think, you know, and as much as for, I mean, decades, we've, you know, just even before cell phones really were a thing, you know, a widely accepted thing, even when it was just kind of, quote, online, you know, digital citizenship. But that's been a battle since back in the day, as it were, you know, late 90s. That's been one of the conversations that we've been trying to have, you know, with students, for students, and the conversation really doesn't change. And also the effects aren't really changing. So, you know, it's one of those things where, okay, I guess we do have to shut it off because it's not working. Right. You know, we've tried to educate. We've tried to help understand. We've tried to help parents understand and students understand, and hey, these are the things that can go wrong, and this is how you can use it productively, and this is what happens when you don't use it productively. Nothing's really changed. So
isn't it funny?
I don't know.
And I guess what gets me about it is that in your job now, we push everything out via social media and the web.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unfortunately, radio is not, and newspapers, television, no one watches TV anymore. So it's all web-based. And yet we're taking one of the key elements, for communication out of the hands of the students that we're trying to teach. Yeah. And I guess that boggles my mind, because why aren't we just trying to make sure we use it in a better way? But so I'm going to ask you this question, because I don't think I've ever asked you this question. Your opinion about, because if you guys don't know this about David, he's an excellent writer, and that's what his degree is in. One of his degrees is in writing the English, and that kind of
writing the English,
a purveyor of the words.
There you go.
Anyway, so and if you look up David, you'll find some of his works online. So anyway, what's funny is we talk about influencers and we talk about social media and we talk about kids doing that kind of thing. But what I notice is the ones that really get stuff, moving for themselves are very articulate.
Mm-hmm.
They're well spoken. They're well written. We really don't address that, do we? I mean, it's funny. Even we've done this forever in education. The biggest thing that goes in the paper is a picture of the extracurricular stuff, and the handful of people that are the quiz bowl teams and the national honor societies and stuff like that. But it doesn't seem like, since we have this medium, sorry, I'm getting there.
That's good. You're good.
I'm getting around there. I'm going to ride around this horse in a minute. It's a good saddle.
Anyway. He's going to be dead in a minute.
This horse is tired of me.
You're going to have to beat this dead horse.
But, since we have this medium where everyone can be published, it doesn't seem like it seems like that is the direction we should be going in, is that everyone can have a voice, and we should be using it, to promote that, not just who won the football game or the basketball game or the band did this, or, gymnastics, swimming. You see where I'm going with this,
Yeah.
But it seems like, so what's your take on that? Being our communications guy, PR guy, you're doing that now for a school system. Do you notice that we still have just a small percentage of students that we, push in that direction and promote and then everyone?
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, and it's to your point. It is still very much, and I don't know if this is everywhere. All I can do is speak for where we are. It is very much sports oriented. As you mentioned, it's also for the things that are generally not sports related. In terms of academic things that we post. It tends to be the like you said, the quiz bowl, the very high end of the spectrum, for lack of a better word. And I don't mean that any highfalutin or derogatory to anything else. It's just the students who are excelling and who participate in arenas where that accelerated conversation and their language mastery is used to benefit them. Those seem to get celebrated more, and in a weird sort of way. When you talk about quiz bowl and chess matches and heck, even Rubik's Cube, at the end of the day, those are still competitions.
That's
sports
true.
Or not, those tend to still be competition type things.
Right.
So, what are the things that you've kind of made me open my mind to just now, as you brought that up, is so how do I do that as a communications director? What are some ways, and this is what I'm thinking, is okay, what are some ways that I can get with some of these students who are gifted or with writing and who love to writing and they're students, so yeah, they're going to need some tweaks, whether it's grammar and maybe some spelling or whatever it is, but still be able to either A, celebrate those students, or B, get those students to be able to showcase they're writing through our media outlets. And I think that is, I think that's a wonderful idea. And I think that's just going to be a matter of me as a communications person sitting down with the various writing teachers and we even have, we've got several different media programs that we have here at Hope Public Schools. And there are multiple avenues to pursue this, but it's going to be a matter of me going and sitting down with those folks and saying, okay, I want some students who are going to write they're going to write publish-worthy, articles, information, and some of it's going to be research-based. Some of it may be fiction-based. I mean, just, to let the students do that.
Yeah. So, what's interesting about what you just said is that I was thinking and you answered it exactly what I was hoping the way you would answer it. I mean, I didn't know the answer to it, but you answered it the way that I was.
I didn't know the answer to it.
You know what I'm saying. I know. You know me long enough to know I'm kind of crazy like that. So, but no, what I was going to say is, you're right. See, I guess what I'm getting at is we have this ability to instantly publish in the world. I mean, we can all be publishers and creators instantaneously with any device that we have. I mean, at the moment's notice, go live and, hey, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Just a fire at the old barn. The cow kicked it over and Chicago's on fire. Whatever, So what's interesting is that you were talking about how do we do that? Well, see, I think our teachers are our front line there. Mm-hmm. Because they know, a teacher knows in the first 3 days of class that these are where these kids are. These are where these kids are going to go. And these are, here's the kids that are going to excel. And these are the kids that are going to learn so much over the next 6 months. And these are the ones that are going to know it now and that kind of stuff. And they have the ability to get them to use their voice to talk about what did you like about science class today? And you're not going to be a scientist maybe, but I really want to talk some more about when we dissected that pig.
Right.
You know what I mean? To me, that changes the narrative of all of social media from the student viewpoint.
Yes.
We start building influencers who are this 5th grader who talks about social studies class and this 3rd grader who's talking about, whatever, math or learning the multiplication tables. And I'm way off, but but you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, and what your question did for me is, and I do want to go back and just kind of tweak something I said. I mean, yes, a lot of our posts are sports related and competition related, but I have made strides, especially at least I like to think so, in helping showcase all kinds of different things that are happening at the district. But that's to your point. It's not really a problem, but it's not the student generated content, right? I'm posting about these students. I'm posting about the community coming in and donating supplies to the elementary school, or I'm posting about this really cool thing that the students at a particular school are doing with robots and drones.
Yeah.
Whereas if we had the students publishing that, that's a whole nother perspective of what's going on rather than it being from the communications department directly.
And it's beginning. And so you're thinking, well, you guys went down. No, this is beginning of the year. This is when you start.
That's right.
You've got to do it right now. So every year we start a new thing. And it's like I said to some people this the other day, if you keep down this route, we're going to go from August to May. Mm-hmm. And you're going to be right where you were where you ended the year. And we can't do that. Because by the time May gets around, and there's not an educator listening to this that can change my mind or negate what I'm about to say. By the time May and June roll around, you're done.
Yeah,
that's the truth. Mm-hmm. It's like the Friday before Christmas. It's like the week before spring break.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's just the way it is, and when we get it because we're all worn out. The kids are worn out. We're tired. We're trying to achieve these things. We've done the whole kit caboodle. Like me, 30 homecomings is a lot of homecomings. Yeah. So 30 proms is a lot of prom.
Right.
And you think, well, it doesn't sound like that many. Trust me. It's a lot.
It's a lot of proms.
It's a lot of proms. But, to me, it's like you got to start this stuff right now. And if you don't start it, then you'll never know what it's going to do. But I truly believe, like, I met a student that I saw at our back to school bash doing some interviews. And then I met this student, didn't know the student's name, didn't pay attention to recognize the student if I saw the student again, but I knew when I saw it, I was like, that's really good. She is excellent at interviewing. She's doing some podcasting. Then I met the same student yesterday in helping the librarian at the high school. And I thought to myself, wow, she is professional. Man, I like this guy. I thought she was a paraprofessional. Honestly, the way she dressed, I was like, we got a new paraprofessional here. And I was talking to the superintendent yesterday. I said, this is the person. And I said, but I knew what her name was. And I said her name. I said, I heard her name in the library. And he said, I think and he made a few. And it was the same person. I was like, now, is that not weird? I said, Jeff can call him. He knows his podcasting people. But I said, but what's interesting is she's one of those that I was like, it's time to promote and let her, because she's going to be, we all did it. We all had that somebody we looked up to, I'm going to say his name, John Foster. 9th grade, I wanted to be John Foster and Stephen Saunders. I wanted to be those two guys. They were the coolest trumpet players and the coolest guys in school. We all have that person. Sure. And now we have this platforms to really propel that that peer influence. And right now at the beginning of school is the time to do it, because that'll change the whole outlook for a whole bunch of kids.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Grade wise, learning wise, just the home life, the whole bit. You got somebody to look at. So yeah. Hey, well, is this our don't we do a back to school? It seems like every year.
I'm pretty sure we do. I mean, I'd hope that we do. I don't know. That's probably the last one we recorded.
Yeah. Right after
that's all we do. 1 year.
Yeah. That's all we do.
Other than conferences, we do a back to school and sometimes an end of school.
It's been great. We'll talk to you guys next August, right. 2025. We'll see you then. Hey, listen, it's been a good half hour with you folks, and we're back on the air. We'll talk to you every week from now on. We promise. We're gonna make sure we do this.
We're gonna try real hard.
Oh no, we're going to. Jeff's gonna make sure if he has to come in here and just say, okay, we're talking about ducks today. I saw some on the way in. So anyway, hey, listen, catch us on the web, www.edutechguys.com, or just go to any of your favorite social media, type in EduTechGuys, at EduTechGuys, like our sticker says, at EduTechGuys, and you'll find us on the web. Looking back at you with all of our pretty little faces.
All of them. All two of them.
All two of them. Hey, listen, I'm Jeff Madlock.
I'm David Henderson.
We'll catch you next time.
You've been listening to the EduTech Guys, edutechguys.com.